Hi, welcome. Here's your HMH lesson for today. We are really focusing on retelling a story. When you retell a story, you describe what happens in a story in order. So you tell me what happens first, in the middle, in the end. You're going to use your own words, use details, use words and pictures. So a tip I can give you, it's kind of like when you watch a movie. Don't you tell me what happens in the movie? You tell me what happens first, right? You don't tell me what happens last. It's not going to make any sense. You're not going to tell me some details in the middle and then jump to the beginning and then the last. It doesn't make sense. So when they say use your own words, it doesn't mean you're copying down from the story what happened. No, you're going to read that part and write in your own words what happened. Okay? So it's not copying the story down. That's not what we're doing. You're retelling the story in your own words, beginning, middle, and last. We are going to be reading the story, Jack and the Beanstalk. It's a fairy tale. Those are my favorite kinds of stories to read. Fairy tale. We are on page 142 in your HMH book. Before we start reading, let's talk about what fairy tales are. Fairy tales are old stories that have made-up characters and events that could not happen. As you read Jack and the Beanstalk, we're going to look for the beginning, middle, and end of the story. We're going to look for characters who are not found in real life, an ending that is happy, and storytelling phrases like once upon a time, or happily ever after, or the end. Those are all storytelling phrases. As you read, retell the story, use your words to tell what happened to the beginning, middle, and end of the story. So you are going to use your reading graphic organizer that looks like that. Oh, not that one. This one is Reading Graphic Organizer 4. It looks like this. Okay? So you're going to use this after we're done reading the story. You're going to use this to rewrite what happened in the beginning, middle, and end in your own words. Obviously, you're going to write the title down too. This paper is going to be found in your packet from last week. Okay? So from before spring break, that Friday, that's when we did this. So I'm sorry, sometimes the stuff that you do on Mondays are in your bag from last week, Fridays. So that's that. If you can't find this paper, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Just go ahead and retell the story in your own words on a normal notebook sheet of paper. Okay? All right, let's go over some vocabulary words. We have the word swipe. Here, it looks like the kid has apples in a basket and he's smiling. If you swipe something, you take it. So, like, for example, Dora the Explorer. How many people are familiar with that? Raise your hand. Good. Swiper, no, swipey. Who's that? Swiper. That's the fox. Remember the fox? Yeah, Swiper. He comes and swipes things. So when you swipe something, that means you take something. Okay? All right, our next word is whacked. This baseball player whacked the baseball. If you whacked something, you hit it real hard. Whack. It even sounds like a whack, right? Here, the dog whimpered. Whimpered. Does he look happy? No. When you whimper, you made a quiet crying noise. Can everybody whimper for me? Right? That's a whimper. Okay. The next word is plenty. She looks like she has plenty of clothes in her closet. When you have plenty of something, you have a lot of something. So plenty means a lot. Okay. Plenty means a lot. Okay, this is adorable, and that goat is adorable, but this is not for the story for this week. If you would just listen to what I'm going to say, I was just going to say that. This is not the story for this week, but I just want to show you the picture because it's cute. All right, anyway. As you read, retell the story, use your own words to tell what happened in the beginning, middle, and end of the story. Let's listen to the audio to find out about the author of Jack and the Beanstalk.
Helen Lester likes to tell people that she spent 10 years in the 2nd grade. That's because she was a 2nd grade teacher. Now she is the writer of more than 16 books. Ms. Lester likes to use animals as characters in her stories. She says her characters are like the students she taught. They are funny and lively. Helen Lester has another special talent. She can write her letters backwards.
Cool. All right. Let's read the story.
Jack and the Beanstalk by Helen Lester. Illustrated by Jesus Aguado. Once upon a time, a boy named Jack lived with his mother in a poor little hut. What money they had for food came from selling milk from their cow, Musetta. But when old Musetta stopped giving milk, they knew they would have to sell her. So Jack and the cow hiked into the village. Hours later, Jack returned alone with a handful of beans. Beans? Beans. You've got to be...
All right. What is Jack's problem? No. Raise your hand, please. What's Jack's problem, Leia? Very good. They're poor. They don't have any money. Their cow Mosita has stopped giving milk, so they can't earn any money. They don't have any money. That's the problem. How does he try to solve the problem? And does it work? How does he try to solve the problem, Rena? No, but how does he get the beans? How does he solve the problem, Christian? Hold on, I want to see if he's listening because he never answers. Christian, how does he solve the problem? What does he do? He sold the cow. He sold Musita. And did he sell her for money? What did he get back in return? Beans. He didn't get money in return. He got beans instead. And his mother is still poor. And now she's mad at him because they don't have any money and they don't have the cow. What happened next? Why might this event be important? Why is this an important part of the story? Use your prior knowledge based off what you know about the story. Why is that important? Because what, Renaya? Good. It tells us how he got the beans to begin with, which will lead us to why the beans are important, right? Okay, so let's keep reading.
Kidding me, yelled Jack's mother. You were supposed to sell Musetta for money. Beans can't buy food. But the beans are so pretty, said Jack. This is a mess, sighed his mother. Jack went outside and planted the pretty beans in a sunny spot. He gave them a drink of water. Maybe, just maybe, they would grow. And grow they did.
How did Jack's mother respond when he came home with the beans? Amaria? How did Mom respond when she saw the beans? Okay, if I call on you and you have no idea what's going on, please know you're going to get some laps for recess, okay? This is a very, very, very easy story. All you have to do is listen. Look at the picture if you didn't listen. How did Jack's mom react, Dominic? So how did she feel? Happy or angry? Angry. She was angry. In the picture, she looks shocked to see the beans. She yells at Jack and says that he caused a huge mess. Why does she respond that way? What was he supposed to do? Dustin? Sell the cow for money, not beans. Now they will have no money to buy food and no cow to try to make milk and sell. So let's see.
Overnight, the seeds had sprouted. By morning, they had wound into a beautiful beanstalk. How did it grow so fast, wondered Jack. It had grown up, 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 and out of sight beyond the clouds. Wowee! Exclaimed Jack. Being a curious lad, he simply had to climb it. Where would the beanstalk lead? He went up and up, higher and higher, until he went beyond the clouds.
Let me pause and describe what has happened at the beginning of the story. I will use my own words and details from the words and the pictures. First, Jack takes Mosita to the village to sell her. He comes home with beans instead of money, which makes his mother mad. Jack plants the beans and they grow into a giant beanstalk. Jack climbs up the beanstalk Let's see what happens.
Ta-da! Jack gazed upon an enormous castle. He saw some creepy-looking signs, too. From inside the castle, a voice boomed. Fee, fi, fo, fum, time for Betty, hoody hum. On the ground was a little bag of gold.
What do the signs say?
Go away. Only giants allowed. Beware, large hungry beings.
So do you think he was supposed to go there?
No.
No, you think he will?
Yes.
Oh no, let's see what kind of trouble he's going to get into.
Jack looked left and right and swipe! Down the beanstalk he went with his treasure. The big sleeper surely wouldn't miss such a small bag. At the sight of the gold, Jack's mother allowed herself a smile.
What happened after Jack climbs up the beanstalk? Let me call her name. What happens after Jack climbs up the beanstalk, Haney? What happens after he climbs up the beanstalk? Before that, though, he gets up there and he sees what? Okay, very good. When he gets to the top of the beanstalk, Jack sees a big castle and hears a loud voice. Then he sees a small bag of gold. He takes the bag, climbs down the beanstalk, and shows the gold to his mother. How do you think his mother is going to react to the gold, Michael? How do you think Mom is going to react when she sees the gold? Happy. She's going to be happy. She's going to be excited, right? She smiles when she sees the gold. I think she is happy because now they have money for food. All right, let's keep reading.
The next morning, Jack climbed the beanstalk again. Fee, fi, fo, fum, time for Betty, hoody hum. Good timing, thought Jack. And this time, he helped himself to a goose who was very busy laying golden eggs. At the sight of the busy goose cranking out golden eggs, Jack's mother allowed herself a giggle.
What happened during Jack's second trip up the beanstalk? Let me call a name so I can be fair. JC, what happens? Very good. He arrives at the castle. Jack hears the loud voice and he sees a goose laying golden eggs. What does he do with them? What does he do with them, Christian? He takes the eggs or the goose? He takes the goose. He takes the goose back home with him. What does he want with the eggs if the goose can keep laying more and more and more? If he just takes the eggs, then he only has 3 to take home. But if he takes the goose, he has a lot of eggs, right? Because the goose makes the eggs. How does his mom respond this time? Amaria? She giggles and sees the goose. I think she is happier now because Jack is bringing home things that are worth a lot of money. Gold is worth a lot of money. You know that, right? Okay.
The next morning, Jack eagerly climbed the beanstalk. He wondered what treasures awaited him. Oh dear, he did not find what he had expected. Fee, fi, fo, fum, where on earth did you come from? From down on earth, replied Jack. Well, I came up my beanstalk, which is in earth. You see, I gave it sunshine and water and...
What do you learn about the giant? He doesn't look happy. Let's see. That's right. He looks upset. Let's see what's going to happen.
But the giant was not interested in Jack's gardening skills. He was hungry. Jack, being nimble and quick, hurried down the beanstalk. As the giant followed and was halfway down, Jack grabbed an axe, whacked the beanstalk, and splat!
What happened? She's not here. What happened, Bernaya?
Jack grabbed his axe and he cut down the beanstalk.
Okay, how is Jack's third trip up the beanstalk different from others? The third time he comes up, why is that different, Dominic? Very good. The third time he found the giant waiting for him. The giant chases Jack down the beanstalk. When Jack gets to the bottom, he chops the beanstalk down and the giant falls to the ground. I think the giant will follow Jack back to his house. Do you think so? Let's see.
My toe hurts, whimpered the giant. And how will I get home? I'll show you, said Jack kindly. First, he showed the giant how to water the beanstalk. Together, they cared for the plant. It grew up and up beyond the clouds. Now the giant could climb home, and Jack bought Musetta back. He returned everything he had taken from the giant. The gentle giant told his new friends they could keep the goose. From that day on, Jack, his mother, the goose, and Musetta had plenty to eat and lived happily ever after. Once in a while, they invited the giant down for a giant feast. These feasts always included plenty of leafy beanstalk greens.
Now that I finished the story, I will use my own words to retell the most important story events. I will tell what happens at the beginning, in the middle, and at the end of the story. As I retell, I will use details from the pictures. The pictures will help me remember some of the most important details. Before I allow you to do that, let's talk for a little bit. I already talked about that. You're going to retell the story in your own words. But let's talk about this. On page 146, why does the author repeat the words up higher and higher? Why does he say up higher and higher and higher, Benaiah? Good. He's trying to show us that they were really, really high, right? He's trying to explain to us that the beanstalk was super high in the clouds. How do you think Jack felt when he first saw the giant? How did he feel, Amariah? How did Jack feel when he first saw the giant? He was scared. And how did his feelings change, Amariah? Okay, why did he make friends with him? How did his feelings change? So now he's not scared of him anymore. Now they're friends. But why are they friends now? JC? He gave the giant not food. What did he give him, everyone?
The goose.
The goose. He gave him the goose. He took back the golden bag that had gold in it. But he gave him the goose. And why is the goose a good thing to keep? Because it makes not food. It makes gold. It's a goose that makes golden eggs. And those are heavy eggs, and they're worth a lot of money. Gold is very expensive, like diamonds. They're very expensive. It depends on the weight. So that's why, if you look at the last picture, look how they're dressed. What can you tell by the way they're dressed and the food on the table? What can you tell, everyone? Now they're rich. They have money, right? And they made that money from the goose's eggs. The geese's eggs. Very good. The geese. More than one goose is a geese. Okay. Okay, anyway, so I want you now to go ahead and fill out the reading graphic organizer and tell me what happens in the beginning, middle, and last using your own words. You are not copying down the story. You are looking at the picture starting with the first page and writing in your own words what happens in the beginning, and then in the middle, and then in the end in each box. And that's all you're doing for HMH today. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll see you later. Bye.